Welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads. I am here with another book tag. This is the Shelf Respect tag, and I saw this on Steve Donahue's channel. Steve saw this and found this on History Lit, which is a channel by a gentleman, I believe his name is Richard, and I subscribed to Richard's channel and had spent a little time last night going through his content a little bit, and I thought it was really interesting. So I'm going to do this tag, even though Steve didn't tag anyone. He left it open for anyone to feel free to jump in. So I'm doing this one. This one's interesting and different. So the prompts, there are 10 questions, the 11th being tagging other people. And so let's jump right into this. Number one, how do you organize your books on the shelves? As you can see, mainly mine are organized by author. I do have some type of organization in terms of genre. I do try to keep, some of my fantasy stuff together, some of my hard-cased crime together. I've got a little shelf over here that has my Louis L'Amour kind of Western stuff. I have mainly thrillers up here on this wall shelf over here. And so that's how I do it, my kind of organization. Number two, have you ever merged your collection with your significant other? Absolutely not. My wife doesn't read what I read. I don't read the stuff that she reads, and so that is completely separate. All of hers is on a Kindle. Mine is mainly on physical form or on Audible. So, number three, do you write your name and or the price paid into books? No, I don't. I do not ever write my name in the books, but as far as price, I never write down prices. But when I visit used bookstores, if they have the price written in pencil and on the pages, I don't do anything to remove that. Recently, I gifted some books to 3 other booktubers that joined a raffle that I held, and I believe some of those books actually had the price written in pencil as well, and so that's pretty interesting. But I never erase it or put my name or price of anything. I do catalog all my books. When I acquire books, I have a spreadsheet that I do kind of everything on YouTube on in Excel with multiple worksheets and files. And so that's where I catalog all my inventory, as well as keep track of everything I'm reading and what date I read it and what I scored it and the like. So it's all digital in a file. I have not gone on to any of these other like Storygraph or these other reading websites where you can catalog, or Goodreads where you can catalog what you read. I like doing it old school kind of. And so that's my answer. Number four, do you keep all your books you read or only the most cherished? I predominantly keep most of the books that I read. I do make sure that if I cherish a book that I have a copy of it. If for whatever reason I read a book and I don't feel like, hey, that's something that I'm going to ever reread again, I will donate it to a free library. It does happen, not a lot, but it does happen some, and I'd like to donate those books or do a giveaway if it's something I know I'm never going to reread and someone else might find it funny or interesting, and so that's kind of what I do. Number five, does the style and quality of your bookshelves and or cases matter? No, I mean, most of the shelves that I put up over the course of this year, my dad and I worked on those. These 3 bookshelves are all similar, although the middle one is gray, where the others are, I think, kind of like espresso colored, like coffee colored, kind of a brownish color. And so it doesn't really matter. I actually couldn't get the middle one in the same color, so I got gray because it kind of matched the walls, and it works. But yeah, I'm not too picky about that as long as it doesn't look awful. Number 6, do you have any gripes or complaints when it comes to bookcase construction? Yes, I do. I wish, especially, there's a couple things. I wish bookshelves were more sturdier. I wish that they were more modular in the sense like when you have a bunch of room on each shelf, that is wasted space unless you stack your books vertically. And I wish you had more where you can maneuver them around. Usually with wooden bookshelves like this middle shelf is support, so it's not movable, it's fixed in. I wish the design was more sturdy and all the shelves were more flexible, and maybe it came with an extra shelf, because if you think about it, all this wasted space adds up to basically another shelf. And if you have predominantly trade paperback or mass market paperbacks, you can definitely get more books on here if you shrunk the width of each shelf. And so that's my only gripe when it comes to shelf construction. I wish they were more sturdy. I wish they had more flexibility for you to maneuver around. I have played with, the shelving, but again, this middle one being static creates a problem. So number 7, do you ever stack books horizontally? I stack them both ways, horizontally and vertically. Especially, if I figure out a way I can get more in a shelf, I will do both. I'm not huge on aesthetics. In my opinion, I'm not a big book snob when it comes to collectible books or, super nice copies with painted edges and all that. Those are nice and beautiful, and to each his own. If you have those, great. I think they are pretty, but I definitely would rather spend $100 on multiple books, but that's just me. Number 8, what are your 5 favorite jackets or covers? Jurassic Park. I have this beat up paperback. This is kind of a shameless plug. If hopefully my mom's watching this, Christmas is around the corner, Mom. I could really use a nice hardback copy of this, my favorite book ever. Just throwing it out there, Santa. I think these are fantastic. These old tour. This one is a Daryl Sweet illustration. These are so freaking cool. These old school fantasy covers like this, I love these. The Gunslinger, this is beautiful. This little hardback edition of The Gunslinger. I think the tower in the background, it's just fantastic. I'm a sucker for this one because it's signed by Ken Liu, and it's a fantastic short story collection by Ken Liu. But I think the cover is very simple, but it pops. And then I recently picked these up in a late book haul, but these are beautiful covers by Joe Ide of these 2 books. They're kind of a graffiti and brick wall art within the letters. I think they're just fantastic. And then you have this one in particular has the 2 different colors. I think it's just really cool. Those are my favorite covers. Number 9, what are your 5 most disliked jackets or covers? And I don't really dislike a jacket or cover. I think some are just better than others. I don't have any ones I just disliked. I would say if it's really plain, sometimes there's beauty in that. But some people like, fancier covers. For the most part, at least of what I've seen, and it's a small sample size, mind you, but most people like the covers overseas versus the U.S. covers. They think the U.S. covers are really lame compared to covers in Great Britain and elsewhere. And I tend to agree. I think the covers that are released outside the U.S. tend to be more aesthetically pleasing than the covers that we have in the United States. And number 10, is there such thing as too many books? No. And I will preface and say there is when it comes to if you have so many books that you would never read in multiple years and you're just acquiring books to acquire books. I think maybe then that may edge on too many books. I'm definitely doing a read what I own challenge, and so I'm slowly making my way through all of these several hundred books that I have yet to read. And so I'm borderline on too many books, but I think you could ever have too many books because I think book reading is just a fantastic hobby and I really, really enjoy it. And so number 11 is tagging other people. And so I have several people to tag here in this one. Feel free to do it if I don't mention you as well, just like Steve did on his. And so I'm tagging Novel Insights, CG Rated Books, Jim's Books, Reading and Stuff, Robert G, Reader of Books. Be interested in see what he had to say on this tag. Must Read More. I think he has some phenomenal books as well. Adventures in Literature, Odd Audio Online, The GKBC, Tad Reads Books and Stuff, Read and Reread, Book Chat with Pat, McNulty Book Corral, Eric's Bookshelf, Science Fiction Reads, Maeve Ever Books, Xanadu Castle, Kelly at Books I'm Not Reading, and Bridger at the Library Ladder. I would really like to see what Bridger would do on this book tag. I think he has a fantastic library, and I would love to see what kind of books he would mention on this and his kind of thoughts. But that is my take on the Shelf Respect tag. Thanks to Steve and Richard at Steve Donahue and at History Lit for putting together this tag. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you on the next one. Thanks.